have a statement for you. First, I'd like to address what was perhaps the ugliest episode in today's board meeting. Senator Rozelle and Mr. Gilpin each made a deeply inappropriate comment about one of my new hires and about her pregnancy. I found it offensive. She found it offensive, as did many other men and women in the room. Jessica Russell had to leave the room and was in tears. She is owed a public apology by each of these individuals. What we saw today was the worst kind of political theater. In particular, I found Mr. Tim Gilpin's behavior comical, farcical, and deeply unprofessional and immature. As chair of the board, I attempted to bring some decorum back to the meeting and instead faced a man who was acting like he was on some sort of college debate team. As for the other board members, they aided and abetted in what amounted to an inquisition. They voted with Mr. Gilpin and with Mr. Rozelle. Here's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. I was elected to do a job. Oklahomans want that job done. What the voters don't want is a group of unelected political appointees thwarting the will of the people. Today, we saw a group of unelected bureaucrats attempt to throw a roadblock in front of the democratic process. Oklahomans don't care about the inside baseball or state bureaucracy, but they do care about seeing to it that their children's education is our primary mission. The children of Oklahoma do not have time for cheap stunts and games. We're moving forward. Let's talk about my senior staff. These fine individuals are being paid privately. The Communities Foundation of Oklahoma is managing the funds for an organization, a 501c3 called the 3R Initiative, Inc. This not-for-profit organization has received generous donations from organizations like Devon Energy and Bank of Oklahoma. I wanted to proceed with the appropriate process, bring these individuals before the board so they could be approved. Never in the past has the board undertaken such an action. In fact, they routinely rubber-stamped the previous superintendent's hires or never reviewed them at all. As a matter of fact, over 90% of the people working in the State Department of Education were either never reviewed before the board or were approved for their hire after being added to the payroll. We're not going to let the board's obstructionist action stop us. We're moving forward. I will be directing a comprehensive reorganization of this department, and as you heard today, that may mean not replacing people or a reduction in force. That's the fiscal reality that we face. I have said I will be reorganizing the department and streamlining. We will work smarter with fewer people. I will have high expectations, additional workloads, and expect a net savings by paying more for fewer people. Now let's talk about this board for a moment. The board has asserted a pattern of obstructionist behavior and troubling decisions in recent months. The board diverted $18 million from the teachers' retirement system. They only changed their decision in December after an attorney general's opinion forced their hand. The board failed to provide correct reporting guidelines to schools using stimulus money. As a result, school districts could be ordered to pay back $16 million to the federal government with interest. The board failed to approve a budget work program that complies with former Governor Brad Henry's Executive Order 2010-26, issued last June. As a result, the Department of Education has been operating on temporary allotments. These are just a few of the more overtly questionable actions that they have taken, and I'm concerned that after the behavior they exhibited today, they are going to severely harm our ability to manage the state's education systems. I also want to publicly thank all of the dedicated legislators that are with me today. I want to thank Governor Fallon for her support, and I want to thank Secretary Hudecki for being here today as well. And I'm available for questions if there are any questions. Yes, ma'am.
During the meeting, you said this is a witch hunt.
think it is an effort by the board to thwart my ability to run the State Department of Education and my ability to fundamentally put reforms into place that will reform our state's education system. I think it is an effort to overthrow the will of the people of the state of Oklahoma. I was elected by a large majority of citizens, nearly 56%.